Tell me you don't want this. Taehyung rolled slowly, voice almost feral. Tell me to stop and I will. Silence. Jungkook looked into his eyes, wild, dark, dangerous. I don't want you to stop, he whispered. That was all it took. Taehyung slammed Sunlight filtered through the curtains. Taehyung was still asleep. One arm lazily dropped over Jungkook's waist, but Jungkook wasn't at PT. He felt burdened. JK POV. Did you do that just to make me feel better? Did it really matter to you? Do you not feel the same when we touch our hands that day? When you stay a night with me just to make me feel secure? What am I, Ty? I'm afraid. What if I'm just stupid to feel like this? He carefully moved Taehyung's arm, got dressed, and walked out of the mansion barefoot. But before going, JK signed the property papers and left a note with it says, "This was never mine. My uncle used me as a shield or puppet, but for all your property, you are the real heir of this." Tai sighed. The mansion felt emptier than ever. Jungkook's hand still lingered on the bedsheet. Taehyung hadn't let anyone clean the room. Every night he stepped inside, it was like Jungkook would appear around the corner barefoot, patting on the wooden floor, big eye blinking. Sleep away, but he never come. Where is he? Taehyung muttered, sitting on the edge of the bed with his face buried in his head. I shouldn't have touched him. I should have told him first. You really messed up this time, Dai. Jin said from the doorway, arm crossed, but his expression soft. You let him walk away thinking you used him. I didn't even realize he was gone until 3 hours later. Taehyung barked, guilt choking him, and by the time I ran up barefoot, his phone was already off. He was gone. He entered behind Jin, tossing a file on the table. We have been tracking all the cafe, hotels, and rented flats for weeks. Still nothing. He's covering his track like a ghost. Taehyung looked up, eyes bloodshot. You think I only wanted? Do you ever tell him you didn't? Jimin asked quietly from the corner. His usual teasing was gone, replaced with that disappointment. Taehyung looked down. No. Then he doesn't know. Namjoon's voice was calm but firm. You didn't even just break his heart, Tai. You let him believe he was disposable. I'm such a goddamn coward. Tai whispered, voice cracking. I have been searching everywhere like a madman. I haven't eaten, I haven't slept, I haven't even breathed properly when he's not here. Jun walked over and gripped his shoulder, then fixed it. How? Find him, Jimin said simply, and this time don't show up with desire, show up with love. JK's side. The, the one-room apartment above the cafe was silent, too silent. Jungkook sat on the floor beside the window, chin on knees, a cup of coffee steamed beside him, but it has gone cold long ago. His ears were messy, lips cracked, and the bag under his eyes sacred of sleepiness. Screamed of sleepiness. Everywhere he went, he saw Taehyung. He hadn't poured a drink and felt like someone was watching him. He would wake up in the middle of the night expecting to hear the deep voice say his name. He never heard. You're losing your mind, Jungkook whispered to himself. You're the one who left. Why are you missing him? But his fingers instinctively touched the silver ring chain that still hung around his neck. Taehyung's spare ring. He had stolen it from the nightstand before leaving. A pathetic part of him still needed something to hold on. He would close his eyes and remember the way Taehyung had kissed his tears, the way he said, "You're safe, me, liar." But then again, he never said I was more than that night either. Jungkook whispered to the empty room that hurts worse. 5 days passed. 6. Taehyung didn't leave the mansion except to follow. Vaguely, he stopped attending meetings, he stopped eating at the night. He only answered call if they were from one of his youngs. He's really in love, huh? Hosek whispered to Yoongi one morning. Yoongi nodded like a fool who don't know until he lost what mattered most. Yoongi burst into the living room holding a tablet, found him. Cafe Eclipse, he's working there. Taehyung's heart stopped and slipped back into the rhythm. He is in the city, he whispered. He has been all along. He's been here all along. Jin smiled softly. Now go fix what you broke. Taehyung stood up heavy and breathed, wiping his face. I don't care if he threw coffee at me. I'm not leaving him go again. Jimin smirked because we have a little something ready for him. What? Namjoon walked into the living room with a smoldering voice. If you're going, you might as well not come back empty-handed. Cafe Eclipse. Jungkook stood behind the counter, wiping down the espresso machine. His apron was stained with the milk foams, sleeve rolled up, and his hair was messily tucked behind his ear. He hadn't looked up once. The morning rush ended, but his hands froze. Because that voice, one black coffee, and if possible, the heart I lost 7 days ago. Jungkook's head shot, his breath caught in his throat. Taehyung. wearing all the black but eyes brighter than ever. He had seen red from sleepless nights, haunted but determined. Behind him, five familiar figures stood there, backup dancer from a rom-com gone rogue. Jin, Namjoon, Yoongi, Jimin, Hosik, all grinning like they knew what was going to happen. Tai, Jungkook whispered, I came to apologize. Taehyung said, stepping forward, to tell you that I am a coward, that I made the worst mistake by letting you walk away thinking that happened between us was a meaningless. Jungkook's lips trembled, wasn't it? Taehyung shook his head. It was everything to me. I just never said it because I don't think I deserve someone like you. Jungkook looked down. I used your silence to avoid my own feelings, Taehyung confessed, stepping around the counter slowly, carefully until he stood in front of Jungkook. I have spent every night since wishing I have stopped you. I missed your voice, your warmth, even your complaints about how bitter my coffee is. Jungkook let out a shaky laugh through a tear, and I realized Taehyung continued, pulling out the black and silver ring. I don't want a single night with you. I want every night, every morning, every passion of you, every version of you, broken, tired, angry, soft. I want it all. He kneeled. Come home, Jungkook. This time is mine. The ring glistened in the light. Jungkook dropped into his knees too and wrapped his arm around Taehyung's neck. I already was yours. Back at mansion in the Tai's room. I used to imagine you holding me, Jungkook said, blushing, telling me you love me. Taehyung smiled softly, leaning in, forehead pressed. I do love you, Jungkook. I love you like a madman, like the world doesn't deserve to see you smile unless I'm the reason. Jungkook's eyes watered again. Then kiss me, not like last time. Kiss me like you will never let me go. Taehyung did just that. Next morning, the sunlight poured through the blinds. Jungkook stretched naked under the sheets, hair messy, lips swollen from too many kisses. Taehyung lay beside him, arm thrown over his waist, smiling into his neck, but the door suddenly burst open. Well, 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 Jin's voice sang. Oh my god, Jungkook screamed, yanking the sheet over his head. Taehyung groaned. Taehyung. Yogi leaned against the doorframe, deadpan. Next time, keep the headboard quieter. Jimin cracked. The morning was educational, though. Namjoon smirked, holding a tray. We bought breakfast and a contract to say you do need soundproofing. Taehyung rolled his eyes, sitting up shirtless. Can we get one morning of peace? Nope, Jimin grinned. Not after we watched you cry like a soap opera lead for 7 days straight. Jungkook peeked from under the blanket, red-faced. You guys really hurt us? Every damn thing, Hosek grinned. And don't worry, we're proud of you. Jimin blew a kiss. Congrats, husbands. Jungkook was still buried under the blanket, only his eyes were visible and embarrassed as his hyungs continued their morning roast. You know, Jin said, waving the breakfast tray in the air. For someone who used to blush when Taehyung stood near him, Jungkook is sure turned into a wildest cat last night. Hyung, Jungkook's voice was muffled through the blanket. Hyung sighed and sat up in bed, shirtless, hair messy, but his eyes were sharp as ever. Okay, that's enough, he said, voice deep and commanding. The teasing quite rather, but Jimin couldn't help but smirk. What? We're just saying we're happy for you too. Taehyung cut him off, stretching his arm protectively over Jungkook. I said enough. His voice dropped, an octave lower, dangerous and deep with warning. Don't tease my husband, or I swear I'll kill every single one of you right here in my bedroom slowly. Yoongi raised an eyebrow. Over dramatic, much. I haven't touched him in 7 days, Hyung. I finally have in my arms, and the five of you decide to burst in here like it's a Sunday brunch. Taehyung roared. Go away. Jungkook gasped from under the blanket. Die. Taehyung turned to him and pulled the blanket down just enough to kiss his forehead softly. Let me spend the morning with you, baby. I have waited too long. You're insane, Jungkook whispered, flushed but clearly melting. Taehyung turned back to the others. I'm serious. Get out. If I hear one more joke about headboards, I will lock the security system and blast the fire alarms. Jin offered, fine, fine. Enjoy your husband's time, but don't expect breakfast in bed tomorrow. Jimin winked. Use protection or don't. I like chaos, babies. Out! Taehyung threw a pillar, and all five hinds scattered like roaches in the light. When the door finally slammed shut, Taehyung sighed dramatically and sank back down beside Jungkook. "They are the worst," he muttered. Jungkook giggled, rolling over to bury his face in Taehyung's chest. "You threatened to kill your hands for me." "I threatened worse," Taehyung smirked, "and I meant every word. You are mine, and mourning with my husbands are sacred." Jungkook smiled, cheeks pink, pressing a soft kiss to his collarbone. "I like the way you say husband." Taehyung ran his fingers through Jungkook's hair. "Then get used to hearing it every morning." They lay in the silence for a moment, warm and soft, tangled in each other like no storm could reach them anymore. Taehyung whispered, "I'll protect you from everyone, even if I have to throw hand with Jin Hyung." Jungkook laughed into his chest. "He'll kill you. I'll die a proud husband."